So they say that this particular fish needs to be in this particular size tank. They say that I can't put this fish with that fish. They say I need to do this many water changes, this many times a week, and I have to use this filter, and I have to use this light. They also say that I have to feed this amount of food that they can only eat in this amount of time. But I just got one serious question. Who the heck is they anyway? Okay, so this video is more of a introspective video, a challenge video. Like, I'm not trying to start any static. Let me explain to you what I'm talking about. On a recent video, a subscriber or supporter left in a comment that they noticed that they put their flower horn that was in a bigger tank and they put it in a smaller tank, and the flower horn seemed to perk up. They liked it better. And I thought to myself, I had the same experience. I noticed when I took my flower horn from a 56-gallon aquarium and I put it in a 20-gallon aquarium, that the flower horn perked up. And I thought to myself, wait up, that's not supposed to happen. The flower horn or the fish, the whatever, was supposed to be happier in the larger aquarium. That's what they say. And it got me thinking about all the things that we just take as gospel because that's what they say. Only we don't know who they are. Yeah, you might find some stuff online or some stuff written down by somebody that have some letter designated behind the name, but at the end of the day, you don't really know if they are who they say they are. In the age of the internet, we have definitely learned about the catfish. I'm not talking about the catfish in your aquarium. I'm talking about the liar on the internet. We don't know who these people are, but just because they wrote something down, we're supposed to just take it on face value. The sad part is a lot of us not only take it at face value, but we regurgitate it and we preach it and we tell other people this is what you're supposed to do because that's what they say. And then when we're done doing a whole spiel, giving these people a guilt trip, we tell them, do your research. Well, that's what I did. I did my research. Granted, this video is not about me intentionally doing my research. In fact, this video is about me being reckless. This video is about me doing the wrong thing. This right here is the aquarium in question. You guys know how long it took me to get the words out, aquarium in question? It took me a minute. So you've been watching my videos. You've been noticing that this tank has been behind me. It's been bone dry for the longest. I was going back and forth on whether we was going to move or not. It seems like a reoccurring theme with me on whether or not I'm going to move or not. But it's not really all that safe right now to think about moving. Anyway, I decided to fill it and put some fish in there. I know I wanted to do some cichlids. I know I wanted to do something that was going to be visible. With it being a 20-gallon all-inclusive aquarium, I was kind of, I didn't want to say I was limited because there's a lot of things that can go in a 20-gallon all-inclusive aquarium. The problem is that there's only about 15 gallons after you with all the decorations and stuff like that. There's really only about 15 gallons worth of swimming space. And I knew I wanted a cichlid, so I had to go with a smaller dwarf size cichlid. I have plenty of options because I really like dwarf style cichlids, and I have some here that I was going to put in there. My only issue is I didn't just want to have just one. Now I know that this size aquarium, putting multiple cichlids, even if they were dwarf, unless I was going to go with rams or pistos, it wasn't really PC as far as they say, right? But I didn't really care. The reasons why I did it was 100% for YouTube reasons. Like, it was for display reasons. I know people like, what you should do is right for the fish and no. Well, the fish are full grown, so I didn't have to worry about stunning them. I do regular water changes. This water is pristine. My feeding schedule is banging. My water change schedule is on point. The filtration is banging. Everything as far as water quality and health go, they're good. The only issue that people will have is swimming space. Man, here's the thing. If this aquarium is good enough for, let's say, a 4-inch fish, and it's good enough to put a 3-inch fish, well, is it good enough to put a 4-inch and a 3-inch fish in there? I went ahead and originally I put in my topaz cichlid and this other dwarf cichlid that does not have a common name. So I'm gonna have to put the name right there. And they did well. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. They're living together. They're great. I'm going to push the envelope. I entered another cichlid. One that I truly was thinking that may not do it, but I was like, let me give it a shot anyway. And I put in a zebra card. Now, I was totally aware that the zebra card was kind of too big for it, but I wanted to see what would happen. I was tired of taking everybody's words for it. I wanted to do it myself. And now, everybody was kind of right on that one. It didn't work out. The zebra card was way too aggressive for the topaz cichlid that was 4-inch, and the other Akara or dwarf cichlid that was 3-inch. Even though I removed the zebra Akara, it made the topaz cichlid aggressive towards the the 3-inch cichlid, which before the zebra Akara was there, they were fine, but it just disrupted things, right? So there was unrest in the aquarium once again. Something had to be done. And let's get this straight right out the bat. The topaz cichlid was not coming out. He's kind of my favorite out of the two that were there. I like the other one, but the topaz cichlid, that blue eye and that yellow is my favorite color. So he was staying. That wasn't even an option to get rid of the topaz. Here we are. I have a 4-inch topaz cichlid and a 3-inch fish did not work. So I thought to myself, well, I do have these two 2-inch smiling Akaras. Now they're 2-inch. That's as big as they're going to get. Now, if a 4-inch and a 3-inch fish didn't work, will a 4-inch and 2-inch fish work? Is actually more fish than the 4 and the 3, but it's in different ratios. So I went ahead and put the 2 smiling Akaras in there, and lo and behold, it worked. They're living their best life. The topaz cichlid is obviously the king of the tank. The 2 smiling Akaras, they actually swim around the tank more, what's the word I'm looking for, freely than the topaz cichlid does, obviously, because they're smaller, so the tank is actually bigger for them, without giving the topaz cichlid any kind of thought. The topaz cichlid moves around without even looking twice at the 2 smaller inhabitants, and everybody's happy. I am utterly ecstatic on how this came out. But let's be real. According to Day, these fish are too much for this aquarium. According to Day, I am a terrible fish keeper. According to Day, I am being cruel. But am I though? These fish are not harming each other. These fish are already full grown. These fish's coloration is banging. These fish's fins, attitude, personality are all very vibrant. So that leads me to believe that these fish are happy. Like I said, I had a flower horn in a bigger aquarium. I put it in a smaller aquarium and it actually came more lively. This is not supposed to happen. That topaz cichlid is supposed to be murdering those other fish on sight, according to Day. But if anybody were to ask me, is it possible that they can put these particular fish in this particular size aquarium, I could honestly say from my experience, without having to go off of he said, she said, yes, it is possible. Whether or not you think it's humane or not, that is totally up to you. I'm not saying to go ahead and shove a bunch of fish in a small aquarium. What I am saying though, is there's a lot of things that they say that we just take as gospel because it's been said for years before we even started keeping fish. Funny thing is though, depending on your sub count, you could get away with doing silly stuff. I've seen bigger YouTubers slam fish into an aquarium and everybody praised them for it. Don't get me wrong, I thought it was cool as hell too. I ain't hating on it. But I've also seen those same people totally bash a smaller YouTuber for doing a lot less. I've always enjoyed the science and observation of fish keeping. So doing this right here and knowing for myself, doing my own research, I feel like I am a better fish keeper for it. How many times have you did something secretly that you don't advertise it? Because I know you guys are out there. I know every one of us as Fishkeeper has done something questionable according to Day that we didn't advertise, we didn't say. It was our, our little dirty little secret, and it worked. Please, in the comments below, if you got this far, just go ahead and spill your guts. Go ahead and tell everybody what's possible, even though they said it's not. If you enjoyed this content, then please go ahead and subscribe, leave a like, and don't forget to leave that comment of what you did dirty that nobody knows about that you want to spill your guts on. And here's a couple other videos that you might find interesting too.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.